Fit Veggie Mamas, April here. Welcome back to my kitchen. I'm sorry it's been so long since my last vlog, but I found out during my last videos that I was pregnant. So I'm having my second child, a girl, and she's due on May the 27th. So I'm getting right close to the end here at 32 weeks. So I just wanted to share a little bit of what I've been eating as a pregnant vegan mom-to-be for the second time. Basically, I'm going to whip up some Tofu Scramble this time, and it's really simple. Anybody can do it. Do I think that as a vegan you should be 100% fruitarian during your pregnancy? I think it's a choice. I think it's a personal choice if you want to. I think that for me it's just been hard because I had a lot of nausea in the beginning of the pregnancy, and I had a lot of like odd cravings and stuff like that. So for me it's been hard to just stick to fruit and vegetables. But if you're vegan, you're still way ahead of the game. I'm 32 weeks and I've got a pretty decent bump. It's, from what you can see, it's a pretty decent bump. So it's just, you got to be healthy, and that's the number one thing, and not stress about all the diet stuff. There's not a lot of videos I notice on YouTube for vegan pregnant women, so I just wanted to make this one before I got too big and too tired to do any more, and I'm definitely getting to that point at this point. So first I start with your basic firm tofu. Right here, I've already opened it and we're getting ready to put it in the frying pan. What I use is, I got going and didn't realize it. What I use is just your basic frying pan. This is a non-stick frying pan, Emels or Emeralds. And it's really good. They're easy to clean. You have to wash them by hand, but I've been loving having these, so it's been great. So what you want to do is just, and I have so much time to do this in between kicks, so what you want to do is just cut up however much tofu you want. I just usually, sometimes when I'm in a hurry, I just take a fork and just cut it, or a knife, whatever. And then you keep it on kind of a low heat. I had it on super high. Wow. Yeah, okay, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Okay, that's bad. I had the heat on. I started another video and had to start over again. So you don't want to leave the frying pan on the stove and forget that the heat is on high. You just don't want to do that. So what not to do in the kitchen here for a brief demo. So anyway, what you want to do is, now that I've got myself in a pickle, you've got to let the temperature cool down a little bit before you continue on, or you can get another frying pan and just start from scratch, which in my case, since I have a limited amount of time, I'm going to do. So here's a bigger frying pan, and I'm going to correct myself and start over with a bigger frying pan. Now I use about a teaspoon of olive oil, or you can use more if you like. I'm just getting the extra fat right now because I'm pregnant. Normally I would use Earth Balance butter because it's low in fat, and it's not like low fat, but it's lower in fat than the olive oil. I don't concern myself a lot with fat because I'm already a vegan, but it is important to kind of keep an eye on that, especially if you're trying to head towards a fruitarian diet. You want less fat in your diet as possible. So, so then you stick the tofu in the frying pan, the new frying pan that's not on fire. And these pans are really good. They, even when you make mistakes like that, they cool off really nicely. So that's always a good thing. So now the tofu's in there, and I need to get a soft spatula because this is the type of pan, because it's ceramic, you can't use metal or anything abrasive because you'll ruin your pots. So I'm going to use this beautiful turquoise, it's not a spatula, but it's a spoon, it's close enough, and it'll work. So you just chop up the tofu and work with what you got. Excuse me. So you chop up the tofu with the turquoise spatula, get little pieces.
You ate okay?
Okay, shh. Honey, mommy's making a video.
I'm making a video.
Okay. Yeah, I'm making a video for the people. Okay.
Okay.
So it's very exciting. I'm having a little girl. It's my first girl. Just getting ready. I've got next week. I'm having my big baby shower and everything. So a lot to do there. So so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of parsley. I like to use the fresh parsley from my herb garden. So real parsley. It smells so good. So I'm going to just put on pause for a second and come back. This is a really hard one to show because I can't get a panoramic, like a pan down thing of what I'm actually doing. So I'll just come back and then you can see the kind of the finished product. I want to keep this demo short. I've got a million things to do today, so but I just wanted to get this in before I get so close to labor that it's like, okay, I'm out for a while again. So hang on, and I will be back with the finished product. Okay, so back here again in the kitchen. So what you want to do for the rest of the tofu scramble is really simple. You just chop up about half an onion, or however much tofu you have. That's about the amount that you want to put in to match as far as onions and garlic. So I just have some minced garlic here and some chopped onion, and finely sliced, finely diced. And then you just want to throw that in the frying pan along with your tofu as it's sizzling there. And then I'm big into seasonings. Seasonings make every dish better. So you don't put seasonings in, you have no flavor. So I'm going to use sea salt and some thyme here from my seasoning rack, spice rack. I just want to sprinkle in the sea salt, some thyme, and another thing that's just be creative. Cooking is about creativity, and it's like an art. It's your art. You have a blank canvas and you have to create something. So you want to be as creative as possible and come up with some really original things, really original ideas to make your plate pop. You know what I mean? Like, you can use other recipes as a base, but I'm not a big believer in following a recipe to the T. Like, I think I've said that in other videos too, because you start seeing things as you're building from that recipe. You start seeing, wow, I could add this and this and this and make it even pop even more than what they're telling me here on the page. The page is just like a guideline. A recipe is always just like your basic guide. You want to kind of follow that to be, in the ballpark. But at the end of the day, the magic that I found when I do cook is that it's all about using your creativity and adding things that you think might taste good in the end result. And I find a lot of things that just wow me. I wow myself sometimes. Like, wow, I can't believe I actually came up with that. So anyway, I just want to spiel there about that. Anyway, so now that we've added the onion and the garlic, I put in a little bit of mild curry. You don't have to. Curry's optional, but it does make it pop. It kind of gives it kind of more of an Indian vibe, but it's good, because you want kind of that flavor anyway. If you don't want to do that, and you want them to still kind of emulate eggs for whatever reason, then you can try nutritional yeast. That's another route, but I'm not a big fan of nutritional yeast just because sometimes it leaves a funny aftertaste. It has a funny smell to me, and I don't use it in everything. A lot of vegan cooks and chefs, professional chefs, do use it in a lot of stuff because it's a great replacement. But for me, I prefer just like not going the route of trying to stay away from it. So being creative with other types of food to make that same kind of vibe happen. So I put a little bit of the curry in there. So that's going to give it kind of that yellow look. And it's also going to give it a pop of flavor. Thank you, honey. Yeah. Anyway, so then we're going to add some pepper. The best pepper is a pepper from a pepper mill, fresh pepper. But this is what I've got. So another thing is you always have to work with what you have in the kitchen when you're improvising or you're low on ingredients or just on a budget. Work with what you got. Don't feel like you can't be vegan or you can't do certain things just because you don't have certain ingredients, because it's just simply not true. I make stuff out of thin air, and I don't even know how I do it sometimes, like soups and stuff like that, which I want to do a tutorial on. I mean, it's really just about finding things that make sense together and then creating something of your own. So you put the pepper in. And people are saying, well, I'm just a lousy cook, April. I don't, it's not my thing. And I totally get it. But if you're young and you don't have a family yet and you're planning on having a family someday, you better start learning some things, because let me tell you, you're going to be cooking a lot more when you're not a single person anymore. Because that's what happened to me. Basically, it just goes way up, the amount of cooking that you do. So, and the amount of ideas that you have to flow, even as a non-vegan, are crazy. You just have to keep coming up with different meals all day. So you've got to, and then you can always do the leftover thing, but people only want to eat leftovers for so many days. So you got to be creative. Even your kids are picky eaters, of course kids are picky eaters, but they're even picky about leftovers. So we're getting to the end result here. It's looking good. And you don't have to cook tofu beyond its life. I used to do that. But really, tofu is kind of, it's a plant. So it's a bean. So you don't have to cook it beyond its life. It can be somewhat undercooked. But if you like more of a cooked thing, then yeah, you've got to let it go a little bit longer. But again, it's all preference and it's all what you like. So I'm going to come back with a plated finished version. Remember, you can use as many different kind of spices as you want. I'm a big advocate for taste testing everything kind of as you go. Just taking little tastes. You don't have to eat and then get full and then you can't eat later. But just taste testing and, knowing what your food tastes like. Because a lot of people tend to just think it's going to taste good because they followed a recipe or whatever. Or, they just don't calculate in all these factors. So the big thing is taste your own food first before anyone else tastes it. That's a huge secret to success in cooking. It's really that simple. Okay, so let me get the final product and we will be back. So here is the final result. I've got the tofu scramble there on the plate with a little bit of parsley as a garnish and just a little piece of sourdough toast on the side. All vegan, 100% non-dairy, non-meat, and gluten-free too on top of that. Well, actually the toast isn't, but the rest of it is. So just keep everything that I said in mind in the last clips, and I will keep you up to date as much as I can. I'm getting really close to my due date, so the vlogs might be a little delayed from here on in again. But once I get the ball rolling and just get used to juggling two children, young children, I will get back to making more vlogs for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope to help you to a certain extent. I know you weren't able to see all the steps like as I was doing it, but I'm just giving you a general idea of what it's like to be a vegan pregnant mommy, and I hope that helped. So we'll see you next time on Fit Veggie Mama. Thanks so much.